What if you could retire with total peace of mind, knowing that your income is guaranteed for life, your wealth is protected, and that you are never going to be a burden to your family? That's what you'll get in this lesson, where I'm going to walk you through my guaranteed income blueprint, a safe money system for you to be able to retire financially relaxed, so you have clarity, confidence, and control. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Retirement Income School. I'm Dr. Amanda, and this is your place for safe money solutions that are going to help you turn your assets into lifetime income. We're focusing on how to protect your wealth and how to generate lifetime income so that you can retire with peace of mind. Why do I focus on safe money solutions for retirement? It's because there are 5 big risks threatening your retirement income portfolio. These are longevity risk. This has to do with the longer you live, the more at risk everything in your portfolio is, and every other risk compounds. What I mean by that is the longer you live, you've got to make sure your money lasts as long as you do. It affects the market volatility, the withdrawal rate risk, the inflation risk, and long-term care costs. Obviously, if you live longer, you're going to have more expensive long-term care costs, especially because medical expenses are subject to higher inflation than any other cost of goods. We think about market volatility, and when we're thinking about market volatility, you want to consider the sequence of returns risk. This really hits you the hardest in the 5 to 10 years prior to retirement, during retirement, and the 5 to 10 years after. If you think about it this way, let's say you're 30 years old and you're investing in the market and you have a big loss. Well, you have time to recover. Doesn't feel good to have a big loss in your portfolio, but you have time to recover. Whereas if you're a couple years before retirement or you're in retirement and you experience a large market loss, your portfolio is at risk. So that's sequence of returns risk. You're also subject to withdrawal rate risk. This is you taking out too much too soon. And so it drains your savings and you can outlive your money. Remember, we said longevity risk is the biggest problem that affects all of the other risks. If you withdraw too much too soon and you live longer than you expect, you might be in trouble and not have enough money for retirement. We also want to think about inflation risk, where rising costs erode your purchasing power and shrink your retirement lifestyle. Doesn't feel good to be in retirement and worry about inflation, so you downsize how much you remove from your portfolio, and then you don't get to enjoy your life. And it's those golden years that we want to experience the fun and be free to do what we want to do. But if you haven't set yourself up with safe money solutions and what I'm going to teach you in this guaranteed income blueprint, then you're going to be at fear of all of these risks. Now, long-term care costs, these are unexpected medical expenses that can wipe out your nest egg completely. Medical expenses are increasing, people are living longer, and the average stay lasts quite a long time in long-term care. 70% of people will experience long-term care needs. So if you're not protected in this way, then you are at risk of depleting your investment portfolio or your retirement income portfolio. Now, I really want to talk here for a second about retirement income. If you have a high net worth, but you have no income, that doesn't work. And a lot of people focus on the asset building phase of building up your net worth, but they don't think about, how am I going to turn those assets into lifetime income? Let's say you have a massive 401k or you have a whole bunch of equity in your house. How are you going to turn that into income? That's what I'm teaching you here. And this guaranteed income blueprint is 3 strategies that are going to help you do that. So what is the guaranteed income blueprint? This is a safe money system to turn your assets into lifetime income, as I've been saying. And there are 3 essential safe money strategies to avoid market volatility with contractual guarantees, build tax-advantaged cash value, legacy protection, and living benefits, lock in guaranteed lifetime income. Now, this is guaranteed lifetime income no matter how long you live, and shield your assets from long-term care expenses. So these 3 strategies are what I call the Smart Life Plan, SafeFlow Income, and LTC, or Long-Term Care Expense Shield. And let's break this down. When you're turning your assets into lifetime income, you want to have a solid foundation of these 3 things. First, we want to think about the foundation of whole life insurance. So my Smart Life Plan helps you protect your assets, grow guaranteed cash value, transfer wealth efficiently, and access long-term care benefits using tax-advantaged whole life insurance. The SafeFlow Income is solution number 2, and this helps you turn your retirement assets into reliable, guaranteed monthly income and cover long-term care expenses no matter what the market does using fixed index annuities with a lifetime income rider. And an LTC Expense Shield is the third solution, which shields your assets from rising medical expenses, and it's you planning ahead for long-term care protection. Now, I'm going to break all 3 of these down in upcoming lessons, but I just want to give you an overview in this lesson of what the guaranteed income blueprint is and help you understand how important it is to have that foundation that's protecting you, creating that guaranteed lifetime income, protecting your assets, and giving you a way to transfer your wealth efficiently, all of this being tax advantaged. Now, the Smart Life plan is whole life insurance. And there are a lot of misconceptions about whole life insurance. What I want you to know is that the wealthiest people all have whole life insurance. For me, I started to learn about using life insurance as a way to bank on myself, become my own bank. Some people call it infinite banking. And if you look online, you're going to see all kinds of negative and positive things about it. What I want you to know is that you've got to educate yourself to truly understand how money works and how the wealthiest people use whole life insurance to do these things. They have guaranteed tax deferred growth. So your cash value grows steadily over time. It's protected from market downturns while accumulating on a tax advantage basis. You have tax-free access to funds, so you can utilize policy loans to access your cash value without triggering taxable events. This provides you with financial flexibility during retirement. It gives you multi-purpose protection because with whole life insurance, it also functions as an income reserve for your retirement years. It has long-term care benefits built in and offers a guaranteed death benefit for your beneficiaries. So those are just a few of the highlights of using whole life insurance. It was really incredible to me when I was on food stamps and I started learning how to build my wealth. In my first year as a business coach, I went from food stamps to 6 figures. And in that process, I started hanging out with a lot of wealthy people, and they all taught me about using whole life insurance in a very specific way that I'm teaching you. So, if you're one of those people that thinks whole life insurance, why are you talking to me about that? Learn more. Stick around here with me, schedule an appointment so we can talk, and let's educate you on the power of using whole life insurance as a smart life plan to generate tax advantaged income in your retirement years and also help you pass it on to your heirs efficiently and become a system for you becoming your own bank. SafeFlow Income is generated using fixed index annuities. Now, similar to life insurance, a lot of people have different belief systems around annuities. Again, educate yourself. This is your hard-earned money that you've spent your lifetime creating, generating, building your net worth. You want to be smart about the way that you set up your guaranteed lifetime income. I would say that most people I talk to think that they know about annuities and they don't. They have all kinds of misconceptions. I'm going to break that down in a future lesson, but I want you to really educate yourself because the power of annuities is that they create an accumulated savings where your existing retirement funds serve as a foundation for creating lifetime income. You have annuity conversion, so you strategically allocate to fixed index annuities with lifetime income riders. What this does is give you the opportunity to turn on the income and trigger your income stream. It's like creating your own personal pension, and you get lifetime payments no matter how long you live. So it's like taking a chunk of your money, a portion of your portfolio, putting it into a fixed index annuity, and then having guaranteed lifetime income where it never runs out. And if you don't use it all, it passes on to your beneficiary. So it's a safe money system that's going to help you feel very secure in your retirement. People who have annuities report much more happiness in retirement. And most advisors advise that a portion of your portfolio be put into annuities because of the benefits of having that security, that foundation of making sure that all of your ends are covered. If you've never heard of an annuity, you can think of it like Social Security. You get a monthly paycheck, it keeps coming, it's got cost of living adjustments. You can create annuities very similarly where you have a lifetime guaranteed flow. It's a contract with an insurance company that's going to give you a lifetime income. To me, this is the best safeguard, ensuring for yourself that you're always going to have your bases met. And some people stack their portfolio with several annuities. They call it annuity laddering so that you can turn on income at different points in the process. Annuities also have options for long-term care, so you can use these in a hybrid way to cover yourself there as well. So for long-term expense shield, this is long-term care insurance and long-term care insurance riders. You can get these riders on the Smart Life plan with the whole life insurance or on the SafeFlow Income with an annuity, or you can buy standalone long-term care insurance. I can help you with all of these. So this is fascinating. If you think about 70% of seniors are going to need care. This is the percentage of people over 65 who will require some form of long-term care, 70%. Imagine if there was a 70% likelihood that your house was going to burn down in a fire. You'd have insurance on your house. Now, what's crazy about this is we all have insurance on our homes, whether we have a mortgage or not. And we always just assume that that's the way it is and that that's really important. Yet the likelihood of your house burning down in a fire is actually pretty low versus 70% of people are going to need long-term care. So why aren't you covered for this? It's going to eat away your assets if you don't have long-term care coverage. So the annual cost for the expenses in a nursing home for a private room, which is what most of us want. When we think about aging and we think about long-term care, we think about having our own private room and being well taken care of. $108,000 for the US, that's the average per year, 108,000. So let's say that you spend 3.4 years, which is the average duration for women. How much is that? That's several $100,000. Do you have that amount saved? Do you want to self-insure? A lot of people say they want to self-insure. Why not leverage a policy to get a 3 to 10x return on your self-insurance? Because you still are self-insuring. You're putting your own money up for that insurance, but then they're going to pay you a multiple of that amount and it's tax advantage. Now, another thing here that's really important to think about is that there is $0 of Medicare coverage for long-term care. It does not cover custodial long-term care, which is what most people need. If you think of it this way, they're not in the hospital on the bed, not able to move or do anything in long-term care. Generally, it's that they need help with the daily activities of living, like bathing, dressing, and eating. And Medicare doesn't cover that. Most people think that Medicare is going to be their plan, and Medicare doesn't cover this. So you're going to have to pay out of pocket. And so you really want to make sure that you have LTC Expense Shield to protect you from having long-term care expenses draining your assets. So why does this blueprint work? Why do you want to think about save money principles? It's because every strategy that I offer prioritizes principal protection first. So this is really about asset protection. It helps you ensure that your hard-earned money and savings remain secure regardless of market conditions or economic uncertainties. So if you think about all of those risks that I was talking about, the longevity risk and inflation risk, withdrawal rate risk, and market volatility, if you're thinking about long-term care costs, we want to make sure that your money, your assets, your principal is protected so that you can weather all of the storms through retirement. The last thing we want for you in retirement is to be biting your nails, wondering how you're going to pay to live, wondering if you can go on that vacation with your family, wondering if you can go visit your grandkids. No, we want save money principles where you have contractual guarantees so you know exactly how to plan your retirement, how to enjoy your retirement and not stay up at night worrying. So this blueprint creates guaranteed lifetime income, and it turns part of your savings into dependable income for life. So this is really going to help you eliminate the fear of outliving your money and bringing peace of mind to your retirement. It's also focused on tax advantage growth. So there's strategic positioning of your assets to minimize tax exposure during accumulation and distribution phases, which maximizes your usable retirement income. And remember, I talked about there's a difference between the phases that you're in. So let's say you're listening to this or watching this and you're in your 40s. You're going to be having an accumulation period and you're going to want to be thinking about building up that guaranteed lifetime income differently than if you're already in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. That's where you're in the distribution phases and you want to be thinking about how to generate that guaranteed lifetime income. still you want to build up, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or beyond, you want it to be tax advantaged. You really want to be able to minimize your tax burden so you can maximize your income. And that's what all of my Save Money strategies will help you do. This is also about personal implementation. So like I just said, dependent on your age, you might be in an accumulation phase or a distribution phase or a decumulation phase. We're going to need to implement a personalized plan for you. So each component of this blueprint is tailored to your specific situation, your goals, legacy wishes. We're going to create a custom blueprint. This isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Why is that? Because everybody's lifestyle is different. The assets you built up, your net worth are different. Your family size is different. How long you choose to work in retirement. I have a lot of people say to me, I don't ever want to retire. And that's awesome. I feel the same way. I love what I do in the world. Yet, what if something happens that causes you to not be able to work? 40% of people who head into retirement and think they're going to work during retirement longer years, 40% are not able to. Typically for health reasons, sometimes because you've got to take care of a family member. You might have something come up that is unexpected. Maybe you get laid off. So these are all reasons why this blueprint is a guiding framework for you, and you're going to want to customize it. So stick around to keep learning more and understand where you're at in the retirement income journey. So now, what do you do next? Watch or listen to the next lesson in the Guaranteed Income Blueprint series. This is going to be about using whole life insurance as a smart life plan. So it's helping you protect your assets, grow guaranteed cash value that you can use for retirement income in a tax-advantaged way. And it's also helping you transfer your wealth. The lesson after that will be about fixed index annuities using the SafeFlow Income solution, where you're turning your retirement assets into reliable, guaranteed monthly income, no matter what the market does or no matter how long you live. And then we will break down the LTC Expense Shield and how you can use it to protect your assets and make sure you're covered for long-term care. If you're ready to build your retirement income blueprint, then book a Q&A call with me where we can go over your unique situation and customize a blueprint for you. Just go to retirementincome.school and you'll see a button at the top of the page. Last, subscribe to the channel if you want to keep getting Retirement Income School tips delivered directly to your feed. Click that notification bell. And stick with me here at the Retirement Income School, where you'll learn how to keep your money safe and make it last so you can truly enjoy retirement. This content is for educational purposes only and is not financial, legal, or tax advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making decisions about your retirement.